Hello everybody, what's going on? It's Mossy Bop here and I'm back again with another album review. Today we've got Mixtape Pluto by Future. I know I've been slacking on these, but trust me, I'm going to start pumping them more. Let's go straight into it. Future, 40-year-old from Atlanta. He is a rapper who's been taking the world by storm, especially this year. He's already dropped 2 projects, We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You, with Metro Boomin earlier this year. And now, instead of, easing off and doing his tours, he's back with a 3rd project for the fans to enjoy. Future, easily my 2024 MVP. No one's really doing... I think he got pissed off that people were giving Big 3 shots and he wasn't there. That's my take. He was sick of people undervaluing him, so he said, fuck it, I'm going to just keep going and going and going. And now here we are with Mixtape Pluto. There were no singles leading up to this album, so nobody really knew what this was going to sound like. But he did share a lot of snippets on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Also, the features were hidden. So I'm going to break down the track list. I'm not going to spoil anything until it actually gets to that point. So, yeah, I'm going to move on to the track list now. Let's get straight into it. Lil Demon. I'm not going to act like I'm a fan of the title, but the song is good. The flow is really good. The hook was good. And the production was tough. 2 for 2. He went 2 for 2. Moving on to Ski. I thought the hook wasn't that crazy, but it's not really meant to be taken all that technical and, deep cut thing. It's just meant to be on the nose. Enjoy the song for what it is. Which, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. The flow, again, was amazing. And I really thought he was bringing back that 2015 vibes with the way he was just attacking the song. And how he was just really going at it energy-wise and vocal-wise. And I was really impressed with the production on this track and the energy of that Future brain of the track. And at this point into the album, I was really impressed with how each song kind of just flowed into each other. There was not really any slow down momentum wise. Never really gave you time to think and dissect and differentiate each song, which will do more harm than good later. Ready to Cook Up at track number 4. I did not think this was as good as the other songs. I did not think it was interesting writing wise or production wise. I just thought it was weaker than the opening 3 tracks, but I mean that's gonna happen. Lyrically and effort wise, I thought it was a lot weaker, like I said earlier, compared to the opening tracks. And the piano was cool, but it felt like it killed the momentum a bit. I was really locked in, hyped, and then it was just like a dud, if that makes sense. Let's move on. Pluto Ski. I was really loving the sinister vibe, the eerie vibe, dark doom and gloom vibe that the production was going for. Had me really dialed in on what the song was about to digest. And I don't know what happened. Future sounded like he was about to pass out on mic from a drug overdose or something, because he was just slurring everywhere. I don't know why they didn't retake the verse, because it sounded good if he attempted to try, you know what I mean? It was sound like it was ready to go off, and then he kind of fell flat. The hook was terrible because what the hell was that? It was just and like, what the hell? The Cardi feature, the only feature that was on the song, and I generally think it was one of the best features he's done with his new deep voice era that he's done in the past year to 12 to 18 months. It was easily his favorite feature. And they put him on that song, which sucks because that song could have been a heater if Future decided to lock in, but he didn't, and that's about it. Following that, we got Too Fast, which is a basic trap beat production type thing, but it does the job in this scenario. It is easily one of my favorite hooks so far on this track. It was like a lot more effort-wise, if that makes sense. It felt like there was a bit more to it than the other hooks throughout the first It sounded like it was a better hook throughout the first 5 tracks, and yeah. But then the verses, I'd thought they could have used a bit of work. They're a bit under par for his standard, which sucks, but is what it is. Average song, but it was still cool. Moving on. We got Ocean, and straight away he did a seagull sample in the intro, which I thought was a little bit on the nose, but pretty funny, I can't lie. The production was cool. I didn't feel as engaged as I did on the other tracks from Future's performance. I didn't think he was really enticing me to really strap in for this song. I wasn't listening as hard. I wasn't focusing as much on the song as I think I would have, but alas, it was still a pretty solid cut. Following that, we got Press the Button, which is a cool song. I guess the production was good and the hook was okay, but the verses were quite uninteresting, and it was quite a shortcut as well. It was a very short song, and at this point in the listening experience, I could not believe how quickly the decline in quality was happening on this album. Moving on, we got MJ, which sucks. It sucks. It is a contender for Future's worst ever song. Boring production, boring rapping, boring song, all in all. Alright, Brazier. I don't know how you can go from MJ to Brazier within 2 tracks, because Brazier is an incredible track. It's a very impressive sample flip. The production is very, very solid, and it was a very good change of pace after the last couple songs, because from Ocean to MJ, like Ocean, Press the Button, MJ, holy crap, those 3 songs are bad. Brazier, it was a nice change of pace after the last couple songs. It felt like the spark was lost a little bit, and I'm glad he kind of brought it back a bit. It's a very solid cut. Moving on. South of France. From Brazier to South of France, that was a very smooth transition. I was pretty impressed with that. I'm not sure what the sample they were using, but it was a very, very smooth flip. Again, a very short track, and the rapping was pretty good. I just thought this was more like an interlude than an actual track, which I kind of got the impression on for a lot of the songs on here, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but not necessarily a bad thing either. Surfing a Tsunami. The guitar sample buried within the mix of this track was very interesting. I thought it was cool. I thought it was different. I thought it was impressive. It was a good opening verse, but the rest of the track goes downhill pretty quick, which is a solid statement for a lot of the songs on this tape. Made My Hoe Faint. I'm not even going to get into it. It's bad. Told My. I'm not going to get into it. It's a bad song. Actually, I will get into it. It's uninteresting. It's bad. It's boring. It's bad writing. It's bad rapping. The production is something we've heard over 100 times on Future, which I know is his stick, but it wasn't anything. There wasn't nothing to cling on to. There was a bad song. The production was alright. The rapping was pretty solid. But again, I thought the song was too short for him to really get anything going thematically or creatively. Creatively. Bloody hell. And yeah, again, it feels more like a interlude than a polished track. And yeah, I know it's a mixtape, but that shouldn't matter, to be honest. Lost My Dog is the penultimate track of this mixtape. It is not a trap song. It is an R&B inspired story time. Cut your heart open. What's it called? Put your cards on the table. Put your cards on the table kind of song. I was very impressed with how vulnerable Future was being on that song. About how his friend passed away. It was amazing writing wise. And I'm very impressed that it found a place on this track list, because he knows and everyone in his team knows that it doesn't sound the same as the other songs, and it's quite a different sound completely. And I'm sure that would have been a very hard song to put out on streaming, but I will give him props to that for putting it out. It is an amazing song, very beautiful. Finally, we got the outro, A Say Gang. It's another trap banger, and it had a very cool sample. I'm not sure what it was, but it was cool as fuck. The rapping got me very locked in for the song, for the outro. Mixtape Pluto, we're here. The hook was kind of ass. The last verse was kind of ass, but we got Future number 3 for 2024. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Overall, it's a Future album. The highs were high and the lows were low. Wasn't as consistent as some of his other projects this year and other projects in general from him, but still a fun listen. That was pretty enjoyable, granted to how the regardless of all the negative things I said about this project, I'm annoyed that there was only one feature on this thing, which was the Cardi verse on a terrible Future song. But you get what you're given, I guess. My favourite songs were Lil Demon, Brazier, and Lost My Dog. And overall, I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7. Cheers, guys.